Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our webinar, Talent Assessment Solutions to Make Reliable Hiring Decisions. So thanks for taking time and welcome to our webinar. And a little bit about myself. I'm Renu Gundala, founder of Talent Grader. And today I have with me Vasu, who is part of our marketing team, who's taking care of our logistics today and also helping us with housekeeping. Thank you, Vasu. A little bit about myself. I have extensive experience in recruitment, and I have worked in both public sector and private sector, engineering, manufacturing, and charity sectors, um, mainly to do with recruitment in-house, and also have a brief background in agency recruitment as well. So the reason for this webinar today is that we are launching Talent Grader, and we would like to kind of introduce to you what Talent Grader can do for you and how it can support you. So what we are going to cover today is look at some of the challenges that are impacting HR and hiring decision makers, and why and how talent assessments can add value, and some top tips in choosing the right talent assessments, and a brief introduction to Talent Grader portal. So without further ado, let's look at some of the challenges that are impacting HR and hiring decision makers today. Um, and this is from our our own market research, and also research available externally as well. So here are the challenges. I'm sure you can relate to some of these. Worry that we might recruit the wrong person. A lot of time is spent in shortlisting applications. Worry that assessments might be discriminatory and therefore not help us to recruit a diverse workforce. And feeling stuck when it comes to finding and using the right talent assessments to select the best candidate. And if you're working in HR or as a recruiter, recruitment manager, some of these challenges or all of these challenges you might be able to relate to. So here's the thing. So why should we use talent assessments? And I'm going to acknowledge that talent assessments is not a magic bullet that will solve all those problems. But when used correctly, talent assessments can be the best predictor of performance, of helping you to avoid cost of a bad hire. And we know that from industry statistics, cost of a bad hire is about 30K per annum, and not that doesn't take into account all the other things that come with it, like effect on team morale, loss of productivity, etc. So some of the reasons why we should consider talent assessments is that I'm going to again acknowledge a disclaimer that no single assessment method is 100% accurate. And the best way to judge if someone can do the job is actually to give them the job, but that's too risky. That's why we do interviews and use talent assessments to predict candidates' performance. So what is the next best solution then, other than offering someone the job to check if they can do the job, is to use a combination of assessment based on specific requirements of the role to improve the quality of hire, and also to help remove biases. In a recent market survey by a talent magazine, they highlighted that 74% of HR professionals across the world use structured interviews to make their hiring decisions. And I put my hand up and say, yes, I have done that in the past as well myself as a recruiter, where I've relied on interviews. But we know that, and there is increasing research and awareness about the biases. And we know that interviews are substantially biased, and using other tools like psychometric tests or the other type of talent assessments will strengthen and make the selection process robust. So one of the challenges affecting HR and hiring decision makers is how long it takes to complete the shortlisting process. And talent assessments complemented with good application and or in a screening interview will help you to cut down the time you spent on shortlisting applications, therefore increasing your efficiency in the selection process. And you'll know from research, and just like to share a brief example of me working in a multinational organizations, often recruit diverse candidates, interview diverse candidate. And sometimes, although we kind of get a gut feeling that that candidate knows their stuff, but they are unable to put it across properly in the interviews. So that actually puts them at a disadvantage, because we are only relying on interview as an assessment tool. So by using other methods of assessment, like a written test, if it's relevant, and things like that, will give a level playing field for all candidates and make your selection process inclusive. So here I'm going to share, now that we kind of understand very briefly how talent assessments can add value to the selection process, I'd like to share with you some top tips in choosing valid talent assessments. First, thing is to start with the couple of questions: is what do talent assessment measure, and is that right for what we want to measure? And then look at reliability and validity. Sorry for throwing these terms. I come from a recruitment background myself, so I attended a training to understand this terminology and what to look for. And just to give you a brief information on this, reliability relates to how consistently a talent assessment measures what it is supposed to measure, and validity relates to how, to what extent a tool measures what it claims to measure. So these two are really important, and by speaking to the test publishers, you will be able to get some data on it. And I'm going to kind of introduce to you in a minute how you can actually understand a bit more about this terminology to make an informed decision. Comparison groups for scores. This gives you an indication of the norm groups, or the groups of norm groups where your candidate scores are compared against, whether it's a graduate comparison group or admin comparison group. So that kind of data is really important, so that you know how your candidate has, how well your candidate has done. Accessibility kind of gives you an indication of these days, most talent assessments, especially in COVID situation, we've seen the value of online talent assessments. Accessibility gives you an indication of how well their tool is in support of making reasonable adjustments if you have candidates with neurodiverse conditions. And data protection, quite important, high on the HR agenda, or for that matter, on the organization's agenda, how your candidate's data is handled. So this information is quite key in choosing whether the assessments are right for you, and also thinking about your legal compliance as well. So that takes me to very proudly introduce to you a smart and simple way to find right talent assessments, Talent Grader. It's going live today, and we have developed it based on our personal experiences of how challenging it has been to find right talent assessments, and time consuming as well. So to save time for HR professionals and small business owners, we are launching this online portal, a dedicated platform for talent assessments, and is very much designed with to help HR and SMEs to make informed decisions about assessments, and also through your feedback to help influence the future design of assessments, as we will be providing you a platform where you can share your constructive feedback with the test publishers. So why Talent Grader? What we offer to you, we make it easy to find reliable, valid, and legally defensible assessments, very much linking to the points I said about the things that you need to consider when you're looking for assessments. Make informed decisions based on reviews from other test users, and find talent assessments easily based on the competencies, traits, skills you want to assess, and also to the extent of job function and industry sector, because these are the practicalities where you have to consider when you are assessing whether an assessment is right for your needs or not. And keep you up to date with the latest trends and developments in the talent assessments. We are working hard to partner with the several publishers who are experts in their field to bring to you the different forms of assessments, from psychometric, very traditional assessments, to game-based assessments and technical tests as well. And not to forget the recent technological innovations in recruitment, bringing you the video interviews and other forms of technology to assess your candidates. So very quick demo of the site. This is the homepage of the site where you can click in here to look for assessments, and it will pop up a screen. We offer to you the assessments for selection and development and talent assessment technology, covering like video interviews, interview questions, courses related to talent assessments, and any events as well. So if we just look at the assessment for selection and development, you can choose what you want to assess or type in a keyword, and also select other filters. And you'll be able to search the results, and you'll see a list of products. And from that, we present to you some key information you need to take into account. Just as an example, description and features to give you some background about how the tool was designed and the theoretical models behind it, and some key information like the duration of the test, questions, and the languages if you're a multinational organization, or want to be able to offer a test in a different language to your candidates. This will come very handy. And the other key aspects I was mentioning to you while considering talent assessments relate to what does it measure, whether it's suitable for a graduate or admin or exec assessment. All those things are also quite easy. That data is available. We are working with the suppliers to give you that information at the click of a button. And things like accessibility, as you can see here, the online platforms, what does it comply with, and what reasonable adjustments they can offer. And sometimes it could be much more than what they have mentioned. So we very much encourage you to, through the site, contact the providers to have that conversation, how they can support you further as well. And as we talked about, data protection, reliability, validity. And as you can see on the screen, the little information icons will actually give you the definitions and also talk about the industry standards that test publishers need to aim for in terms of the reliability, validity information. You will be able to see that as well as a guide, so you can make informed decisions. So I just wanted to kind of share with you in our experience of working with suppliers what they are saying about us. And Talent Praxis, one of our suppliers, a distributor in the UK, says that Talent Grader provides us a convenient way to promote our products, which strengthens our approach to reach our target customer base. The customer insights it will bring through test user reviews is very welcome. We fully support Talent Grader's mission to make assessments easily accessible to HR and SMEs. Increase awareness on things they need to consider while choosing assessments, and equally important, their feedback to test providers. Really pleased to hear that this approach has been welcomed by us. Thank you, Talent Praxis. And we also want to share with you some feedback from some of the HR peers. We have done some demos for them, and they have given us this feedback, which I quickly want to share with you. I wish I had access to a tool like this when I was heading up HR function in my previous organization. I didn't have the time to attend training to use psychometrics. Another peer said to us, it is often challenging to understand technical information and know what good looks like while considering reliability and validity data. So it's great to see a portal that will make this information easy to understand and provide support. It's time consuming to find the right assessment. I worry that a wrong choice of assessment might be discriminatory, and I'm looking forward to access the assessments and benefit from Talent Grader support. So now what next? As Talent Grader is launching today, I'm warmly inviting you to contact us for a free trial on these categories of talent assessments: psychometric, technical, and game-based assessments. And what we will do is just go through your requirements briefly and understand what you're looking for and make impartial recommendations. So I hope that you'll take up this offer, contact me on the number there, or send us an email. By all means, also have a look at our website. We are working with the suppliers to update as much information as possible over the coming weeks. So that takes us to questions. Do you have any questions?
Great. Thank you, Renu. That was awesome, and congratulations on the launch.
Thank
So
you.
we have a couple of anonymous questions. I will just read it out to you so that you can answer them. What support is available to people who are new to using psychometrics?
Thank you. I certainly can relate to a situation when I was new to using psychometric, how much support I needed. So I completely appreciate that. So the support available on the site is on twofold. One is the site itself, where you'll be able to look at the information. Blog gives great resource in terms of the things that you need to consider when you're using psychometrics or the other forms of assessments. And the product listing itself, when you look at different assessments, the things that I have mentioned about reliability, validity, and what they measure, the information icons are really useful to kind of understand that terminology and the industry standards that the supplier needs to aim for. And they usually provide that information, so you can compare and see how that looks against the industry standards. And that's the first one way you can get support. The second way you can get support is talk to us. We have partnered with expert occupational psychologists, registered psychologists who have number of years of experience in designing the psychometric assessments and other forms of talent assessments. So if you talk to us, we will connect with them and offer you the support and advice that you need in understanding your requirements and making recommendations, and we'll make impartial recommendations.
Awesome, awesome. So how do we know that we are choosing the reliable assessments on your site compared to other sources?
That's a great question. And our mission is to make sure that we bring to you the information in an impartial way. And the one way we have done that is through the information icons against each of the things that you would need to consider to assess if it's the right assessment for you. And that will highlight to you the industry standards. And as far as I'm aware, we have not come across a similar tool which gives you that information quite easily. British Psychological Society does independent reviews of talent assessments. And you have to be a member to access that data and to be trained for right reasons. So you'll be able to access from them if you're a member, but our information, we are providing guidelines on what is a good industry, what good looks like. So you can use that information and compare with the information that supplier is providing on the site. So that's one way to find out whether the assessments are reliable or not.
Oh, great. So that takes us to the next question here that they've asked. How do we find out what reasonable adjustments are offered by suppliers, like how they support candidates with neurodiverse conditions?
One way to find out through the site, we've made every effort to give you all the information at the click of a button. There's a field called accessibility. Against every product, we expect suppliers to provide that information. So if, whether their online testing platform meets WCAG accessibility guidelines or not, and then what other measures they have put in place, like a screen reader to support candidates. But one way this could really work for HR professionals or recruiters looking for that information is first look on the site, and then if they have further questions that didn't meet your requirements, to ask the supplier, either us, talk to us using the contact us form or the number provided on the website, or speak to them directly and find out what other reasonable adjustments they offer. Sometimes it can be that if there one, if based on the discussions you have, the test wasn't right, that could be the decision you will take. But it's good to have that conversation, I feel, and you'll find out a lot more about assessments.
Got it. That'll be really helpful. So do you always recommend these psychometric tests?
I don't think psychometric test is a solution all the time, but if they are correct for your needs, and we can provide you support with that. And in fact, until this end of December, we are able to offer this support completely free of charge. And after that, we are looking at membership options. And we would say that to have the conversation and to understand if they are correct for your needs, they are one of the best predictors of performance. So it's important to understand whether they are right and what benefits you will get out of psychometrics. And sometimes if they are not right, then you could look at other forms of assessments.
Got it. That's helpful, Rains. I think that takes care of all the questions here. And if
Thanks,
y'all
Vasudha.
have any questions, please reach out to Renu Gundala, renu@talentradar.com.
Thanks,
With that,
everyone.
with that, we come to the end of the session.
Great, thanks, Vasu. So I was just going to say, do reach out to us to make use of the free trial offer, or any questions you have an upcoming recruitment, you want to discuss what would be suitable, talk to us. We will give you impartial recommendations. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Take care.